Santina Cardoni.
I'm Rebecca Decker.
And I'm Demara Sayala.
We're here today to talk about the wage gap, which some people believe to be fictional and others know to be true. There's a lot of inequality still left in the 21st century, and if you don't believe me, just look around at the great state of Pennsylvania, where women make about $10,000 a year less than men do. Men earning $50,000 a year and women only earning $40,000.
Alright, so we have a few interviews that we would like to show you that we took in our own school showing our students and teachers'
Do you
perspectives.
believe in the wage gap between men and women?
Yes.
Do you believe in the wage gap between men and women?
No, I do not.
Well, did you know that an African American female earns 68 cents compared to a man's dollar, and a white woman earns 78 cents, and a Latina woman earns 54 cents? And in Pennsylvania, women make approximately $10,000 less than a man per year, and the average salary between men and women, men make $50,976, and a woman makes $4,214.
I did not know that. I may change my opinion now.
Okay, we're here with Mrs. Rothery today, and we're asking the question, do you believe in the wage gap between males and females?
Yeah, I definitely think that it exists, certainly in some careers more than others. I have friends that work in the same field as males, started at the same time, but are making considerably less. In teaching, it doesn't necessarily affect you as much, males and females. Our salaries are based upon the number of years that we work in a particular district. However, I do know that some males in the district were hired on a higher step than females were hired. So I know that has affected some individuals just in this district.
Alright, there you have it.
Hi, I'm here with Mr. Chris Soboleski, and I would just like to ask him a question about the wage gap. Do you believe in it, or do you not believe in it?
I believe in the wage gap. I feel like those numbers are pretty concrete when you look at sort of like what the average man makes versus what the average woman makes. I don't even really know that there's anything disputable about it as far as I've been able to ascertain.
Great. Do you think it affects our community in Berwick, or not as much in our small town?
I guess I've never noticed the specific effect in a town like Berwick, because I think a lot of times where that wage gap comes into play most are the types of jobs where you negotiate a salary, as opposed to one where, say, you work at a Turkey Hill or something like that in the service sector. You tend to just make what they pay there. Whereas like when you start negotiating for salaries, I think a lot of what happens with the wage gap starts to become a reality when men feel so much more emboldened to go in and ask for like X amount, and then oftentimes they're given that amount more readily by like the board of directors of companies when they're becoming a CEO or something. When I've read studies about it, it seems to be that a woman has basically just had it somewhat drilled into her head that it's like, you know, don't push back as hard when you're negotiating for your initial salary, and also possibly the boards of directors, but this is all speculation, I don't have any proof of this, would be more inclined to give a man more only because simple perception sometimes, I think a lot of. So in summation on that, I don't really know that it comes into play as much. I'm sure it does somewhat in Berwick. I think there are still jobs here where like if you become like the manager of like a local business, you do negotiate a salary, and then it just becomes a matter of the politics between the individuals. So if the person owns the company and you're going to be the manager, they're going to negotiate based on their preconceptions about you, and their preconceptions about men and women are probably different. That's unavoidable. Everybody has preconceptions about different people for gender and racial reasons. It doesn't necessarily have to become like hateful or something where you choose to discriminate, but our preconceptions come into play all the time. So it probably comes into play somewhat here, but probably not as readily as it does in the corporate sector in like major cities. If I had to guess, that would be my best assumption.
Great, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
After interviewing our peers within the school, we have come to the conclusion that 83% of females acknowledge the existence of the wage gap, and 77% of males believe in the wage gap as well. In total, 80% of the participants believe in the wage gap, and 77% of those who oppose the theory were males. Up next, we have sports. Rebecca Decker singing the national anthem to open up a competition that our high school hosted that Santina and I had participated in.
We watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
today with Damaris and Santina, who are trying to break the record in the most passes of a volleyball between each other. Do you believe in the wage gap between men? Approximately. Oh. Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Paris.
Okay, that's your
Throughout interviewing these people, we have gathered.
Riveting.
such useful information.
Do you even
Up next, we have Rebecca Dicker. Rebecca Decker singing the national anthem.